Is. Thank God I have an option now. You ever drove to a dead end street and couldn't turn around? But it's nice if you could see the corner to turn off before you reach the dead end, eh? Thank God I have an alternative. There's a third party. And that's the one I riding on. Okay? Somebody got to do something for Mr. Wells if they want to change his frame of mind or his mindset, because I am tired. I done spent over $250,000 in the transportation industry. I have letterheads, government stamps, documentations. I even have the plates still in my car, and while I got the plates in my car, the Haitian out there operating it. You understand me? And the man live in a 10-bedroom house in the White Grove. I live in a 1-bedroom house with 3 children. Apartment. You understand me? That's my frustrations. Every other week I getting sick, getting gastro problems with my stomach and everything from the frustrations. But you know what? God is good, my friend. I hope I gave you some insight, sir.
Well,
Keep on.
You gotta go. Who can stay and try argue with you when all your evidence is right there in black and white?
And that's Fox.
Speaking of this, though, what I was trying to say is all the 10 credentials that the driver of the bus has, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that he should have to fight to make $800 a week to make $300, because the first 5 go to the man who owned the bus.
Owned the plate. Not the bus. He owned the bus.
Owned the plate.
The fellow owned the bus himself. The fellow owned the bus himself is the man who owned the plate.
What I am saying to you is we need to call all plates back in.
Everyone.
For buses, for taxi, for everything. And if you can't tell me what island and settlement you from, I need to send you back to school, because I don't feel you understand Bahamian culture.
Graham.
Now, wait, see what I'm saying? The man was right who just called, but he wasn't seeing it the way I was seeing it. I'm seeing it call in all these plates. And the plate go to the man who driving the bus. No one else. There's no leasing of a plate. The plate goes to the man who's on the road every day. So he wouldn't be hustling to make the $500 to rent a plate.
And if he don't feel like going to work that day, he can stay home.
Stay home, park the bus, whatever. He cannot let anyone else drive that bus in his absence for that day. That bus is his.
Yes, exactly.
It's just like your car is yours. You don't give that to no one else to drive for you.
No.
They're not licensed on that car, or unless the insurance is, but it isn't. And so this way, it can bring law and order to the streets. We have no law and order on the streets, Mr. Christie, Mr. Dr. Minnis, Brandon McCartney. There's no law and order on the streets. The first thing any of you must do is put a highway patrol in place 24 hours a day. What is the need of this?
Let me tell you something.
You have crime scene investigator police. You have different levels of police. In the U.S., right, they have a highway patrol. And that makes sure that you don't have foolishness on the road. If you have a bus that needs servicing and it pushing out all kind of smoke, come on, the police pull you over and say, this bus need to go to the mechanic. Do not put this back on the road. And they have a simple computer system where they put in your license plate. If they pull you over for a brake light not working, they can't book you. You can't see the back of your car. They warn you. And if that is entered into every patrol car's system, it's just a simple system.
It was already warned.
If I pull you over tomorrow, boss, you were warned yesterday. Get out the car. Here's your ticket.
There you go.
You either pay this fine, right? Because most people got a debit card. If you don't pay this fine and another police catch this car on the road,
it's
this
confiscated.
Evening, we take the vehicle.
And found it, and you pay your fees.
Yes, man. Law and order.
I don't understand. The police just pull over cars in this country, find out they got no insurance, no license inspection, give them a ticket and let them drive off. The car should be pulled over, impounded
until you pay your bill.
Until you pay your fines and fees. You pay the tow fees, you pay the impound fees, and before you receive the car, you got to come back with your registration, your license, inspection, everything up to date.
And you know, record drivers ain't no problem with that.
Exactly, but look at this. Look at this thing on Arawaki. We got people importing cars every day. And they drive around with the stickers and they tell the police they're just coming while they've been driving for 3 or 4 weeks. Why don't we have a road traffic department, insurance agency set up on Arawaki, so when them cars drive off, they're fully licensed, inspected, and insured?
But you're talking about they drive around just, look.
You got cars right now driving on the streets of New Providence with no license plates, but they licensed, and if they hit your car, they decide they want to take off, they're gone.
And the naming on the window no more, so you just lose.
You understand?
But you better rush up and take a photo with your phone of that number on the window, because that may be attached to something. I mean, remember last time they said this is the last plate you'll ever need. You take this plate with you, right, to your debt. Now we got a new plate.
And we ain't got no plates because they
Another
ain't got no
$12 million
shoulders.
for this new system or whatever. You know, I
But
don't,
spoiler alert, check this out.
spoiler alert, I don't like this
Spoil-
new system.
Spoiler alert, you know that taxi driving produced a prime minister and a deputy prime minister in this country?
But the prime,
And you know they're acting in office right now. Do you hear them speaking anything about taxi drivers' plight?
well, they always
That's a crying shame, man. That's where they come
always used
from.
to get the cab driver vote. Remember that?
Mr. Grant, you remember back in the day when the taxi driver vote meant something?
Is
Because
that-
back in the day when the taxi drivers used to, sweetheart, they take care of how much house? 4 and 5 household, eh?
Five.
5, right? And then they get, if they decide they can vote PLP, that 5 households vote PLP, eh? But
Now the phone ringing on that one. You better be careful.
Spoiler alert. I had a Haitian taxi driver tell me
How you know it's a Haitian taxi driver?
because he
See,
couldn't
I'll show
speak, he
you.
could barely speak English.
But he
Okay,
may be.
but-
he
but
may be a
anyhow, I-
recently regularized Bahamian.
Okay, but good. He's
Okay.
a regularized with Haitian descent, right? But he put his hand on his head like this on Prince George Dock. Oh my God! You see this Cuban driving taxi girl? She done get 4 jobs. I don't get 1. And I look at him like this. I say, boss, you was a Haitian in the Bahamas complaining to a Bahamian about a Cuban and see the Jamaican fella behind me waiting to pick up the scraps? I say, you want me to knock you out, eh?
I gotta go to the phone, Mr. Producer. But listen, you ain't seen no Asian cab driver yet, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about
Harkin,
that.
Harkin.
Let's take the call, please. Y'all better learn Mandarin, or y'all ain't gonna pick up no Asian client. Caller, good morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Graham Weatherford. Good morning to Rudy Grant, and good morning to your guest, Mr. Wells.
You hear this stuff in the studio today?
I hear this stuff, man, and it is wonderful for this thing to be coming out. You know, Mr. Weatherford, a statement was made that there are more of them than us.
That's right.
Well, when you say them, what you mean them? These
That-
people came to my country illegal, 2 parents,
Listen
and they
to
had
the
a
man, listen to
child,
the
and the
man.
child is legal. So what is that child a them? Who you calling them?
Listen to the
I know. I want to hear who them is.
Graham,
Mm-hmm.
Graham,
Mm-hmm.
you came like a thief in the night on the boat,
Illegally.
illegally. You settled in, you had some children.
Mm-hmm.
That does not give you a right,
Thank you, sir.
all right? You
That's in your sight, but not in their sight.
Listen, listen.
Yeah,
listen,
yeah, okay,
listen,
okay.
also, Graham,
Listen, listen.
you have Googled Switzerland.
Yeah.
You know who the 55 passport holders are that
Have you heard about that?
a year and a half.
Am I crazy or is it true?
No, it began with
Right.
and the mind of the federal government and they have to pay $200 fine.
Okay.
Now, Glenn, if you were a contract worker for Switzerland, you would be entitled to health care, residency, education, salary. But you will not be entitled to citizenship or have the right
To vote.
Can you imagine this upcoming general election? How many persons, not all, absolute Bahamian citizens, will have the right to vote in our election? You don't give citizenship to no foreign.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now, people
You can give them a residency, they can live, they can work, they can pay their taxes.
get a bank account. Mhm.
But you do not have the right. Well, you know what Graham is going to do? It's going to set the balance of our electric that is reserved exclusively for Bahamians.
Now, there are some people that would be very offended by you today. One I know for sure, Mr. Luby George, and he should call,
Doesn't matter.
and Mr. Rodney Munkor, Senator Rodney Munkor.
We don't care.
But here's the thing.
We don't care about them.
Listen, I'm not going to tell you what side I'm on. I am a host.
Oh,
But I'm
my
going to
God.
tell you that Mr. Wells said you're being diluted. Mr. Pinland. No, listen to what I'm. Stay with me.
Say it clearly. So what I
Let me-
said
let
to
me-
Graham
Mr.
was, if you
Finland-
take a 1-quart pack of Kool-Aid and make a gallon of Kool-Aid, that's what's happening to our Bahamian race. We are being diluted, and you're hitting right on what I said, sir.
And I agree.
Okay?
What-
I don't have a problem with anyone coming to my country paying their taxes if they want a better opportunity. But these
Right.
people come in, they're very rude, they're very disrespectful, okay? We have Haitian Flag Day, we have Jamaican Flag Day. When I went to school, I was taught flag etiquette. Okay, if you're in my country is the host country. My flag should be higher than yours. But these people have no morals, no principles, no scruples, no respect. And until we have respect in the world, peace will never find its proper place.
Well, see what happened, Salind and Pinland, when they formed our Constitution. They understood that we were only 100,000 people. And next to us was what? 2 million people in Jamaica. 12 million people in Cuba, but they weren't coming. And in Haiti, they had 9 million people. They have 11 million people now. And we don't hate anybody. We've never had any kind of hate crime in the Bahamas based on
Ethnicity.
yes, and race.
I
But
thank God.
here's the problem. If someone is coming here, and Switzerland is having to admit this in short order, and you have people that are coming and they are actually using your health care, using your road, using your things, but you cannot tax them because they are not a citizen. So we have a serious conundrum that's about to hit. And I give you one statistic. The U.S. Embassy for Nassau, Bahamas Facebook page stated, and I have a copy for you, that on any given night, Louis George addresses 100,000 Bahamians of Haitian descent. Now, it doesn't mean if they're legal or illegal. It didn't state that. But we're a country of about 300,000 people. That is 1 in 3, 1/3. If we're having 1 or 2.4 children, and other people are having more children, this leads to a serious issue, because these children are not being taught.
Yeah, well, Graham, let me interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
The Haitian community want the Bahamas to be set like the United States. In Florida, especially where the county and the college, they want to be able to run for office. They're coming at us because I thought, I have the right to be.
Mm-hmm.
That is not so. You, wherever your parents are from, that's where you would citizenship for. They can go to the Haitian embassy, get a passport of the street and travel wherever they want to go. Your second home ground, I think, is Canada. Canada is calling for thousands and thousands of immigrants to resettle Canada. They want to go there, but on same ground. They cannot stay in this country and continuously. They don't pay no taxes. They don't pay no water, sewage, or sewage.
Nope, no overhead costs.
They get free education, man. They
Free
get
healthcare.
healthcare.
Mm-hmm. But we're going to pay the VAT
One of the things,
and the NHI.
hindsight is interesting. But since they are refugees, or they're claiming to be, I will set up you literally now as a refugee center. It is like UN, since we have a convention with them.
Mm-hmm.
Let them police it, and let them go there. But these people are basically economic refugees.
Mm-hmm.
They sneak it, and people, and because most of us, have a slave master mentality, they hire them cheaply in order to perform work. Now, that is wrong. You understand? But they will do anything in order to stay. And quite frankly, even if you were to go and talk to where the Minister of Immigration resides, you see the shanty buildings going up. What they're now doing is registered numbers for building permits, all for building permits, someplace else, and then they will put it on whatever they're constructing. It's absolutely crazy and mind-boggling.
And there's no system to monitor that.
Most of the immigration minister for the business, people are building shanty buildings. And this, in this day and time, this nonsense has to stop.
What I said,
If something serious is going to happen in this country, we don't have to stop, right?
something serious is happening. I just explained it to you. If the people are from Canada, Jamaica, Haiti, Philippines, China, if you have a set of people in your country, Miles Monroe told you, that are living differently, not speaking your language, and not contributing, as much as Bahamians are, you will be annexed. Google that word, annex.
Yes, but not only that, our Bible simply tells us beware of the foreigner in your land.
That's right. That's why God divided the earth.
And if you do brothers and sisters,
It's not going to stop.
what they admire about the people from Long Island, they don't allow the foreigners on their land.
Excuse me, sir. Let me tell you something about Long Island. We're farmers, and we believe that everything we put in the ground can spring, so we don't even bury dead ones up there.
No, exactly. But you do
Because you put 2 grain in the ground and you end up with a whole field of them.
work. You understand?
That's right.
And that's admirable, man.
Well, listen, you've been lax with your immigration laws. Your laws said in your Constitution, Article 1, you have the right to apply, even if you're born here, to 2 illegals. But paragraph 2 said, if you're the citizen of any other country at the time of application, you shall not be eligible. So therefore, when you were born, your father, obviously, was a Bahamian, you're Bahamian. If your father was illegal, with 2 illegal people, then at the time of your birth, you were of the origin of your father. And therefore, you are a foreign national and not eligible. But we've never played out our Constitution. And we need to look at this stuff.
Not only that, our constitution needs to be
Yep.
Well,
This is a change. This world has changed rapidly in the last 40 years.
what happens with the 6,000, was it 6,000 Asians that were brought here from communist China by the FNM administration? Are those people gone? Are they still here? Are they having children, and are those children expected to be Bahamians as well?
They're gone.
Give me a minute, please.
Mhm.
You know the last set that just came in for Bahamas, sir?
From the rebirth of Bahamas,
Yeah, the last set that they brought in, the Asians.
I saw a photo of that on.
Well, I'll give you an illustration. I was at the airport when they came in. They had 3 big Bluebird school buses to transport them. But here's the shocker. Guess what? Their wives was already here to greet them.
Say what?
That's right.
Bahamian women?
No,
What?
Chinese women. They were at the airport waiting to greet them, sir. And I saw that with my own eyes. Okay?
Listen, we have to stop playing with communism. FNM, PLP, I want any of you to call the show and tell me what you are going to do to get rid of communism in our country. That is very disturbing to me. So
You know what is disturbing to me, sir? I had my first kid at 40, and at the rate we go, and you see how fastly we changed in 45 years. I just have, my daughter is now 14. When she gets 24, this is going to be one of the toughest places in the world to live.
Precisely, and you think it is fair.
It's not fair
It is fair for our children and our grandchildren
to have to fight for a livelihood.
to compete.
foreigners from around the world to get a job in this country. Do you think it's fair for these kids to subject themselves sexually in order to get a job?
Thank you.
You know what's going to happen? The foreigners were
ridiculous.
working for you. You're going to be working for the foreigner.
No, Graham.
Yes.
It's like, no.
Tell Graham you's a proud Bahamian, sir, here.
Graham,
And one
What-
thing you got
what
going
are
for
you
you is
hearing-
you're still
what
in
are
the
you-
Bahamas, sir.
What are you hearing from the yellow or red party that says differently?
well, Graham, they too, their time will come, they will go.
They're done. They're done, sir. The FNM and the PLP eats their young, and I am a prime example of it. Okay,
Someone will emerge. Someone will emerge.
it's called divine intervention, sir.
And a group of men who will govern this country fairly as it ought to be governed. Do away with the corruption and the corrupt power. It's for forward. We have an election coming up. And you say vote for Congress.
Well, I hope you don't vote the same thing we've been doing. And I can't tell you if I agree or disagree with you because I'm the host. But I will say you every time you call the shows, you are on point. But I gotta let you go, and I gotta remind everybody that call was brought to you by BTC, keeping every island, rock, and key connected in the Bahamas. Graham Weatherford. When we come back, we're going to be talking about some other stuff.
Some serious
We up like you know business. Oh, no, we know business. Oh, no, we know business. Recession, no bother we promote a fet, and you must see how we go party to the full extreme, and like it up with kerosene. Oh God, the treasury could burn down. We jump it still. We jump it still. Economy could fall down. We jump it still. We jump it. Just hold them and walk them. 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 Just hold them and walk them. 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 No, we don't business. Oh, yeah, no, we don't business.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Graham Weatherford filling in for Professor Thinker. And we got a phone call. We should take that call. And then I want to talk to you about some drugs. How do you know about that? Caller, good morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Weatherford, a pleasant good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning to you and Mr. Grant and to your guests inside the studio.
What's on your mind?
On my mind this morning is this. I agree with your last caller. Whenever you see a Haitian woman or Haitian man enter illegal into our country, hide out in bushes on properties what we have to take years to pay for, may not be in position financially to bill on it. They hide out in the very end part, and here it is. You got to work so hard for your money to pay the bank for your property, and they hide in the bushes on your property, and then they have children and expect to get the Bahamian passport or Bahamian citizenship. That is wrong. You come in our country illegal, you have your children, you and your children illegal, and all of them should go back home. I'm just sick and tired of the foolishness, and I blame the PLP government and the F&M government.
Hallelujah.
All of them are at fault because they did too much nonsense when it comes to these illegal people would come in our country. In some other countries, let me tell you something. Look at the other day, and even years ago, they send back hundreds and hundreds of people who left from here because the flight cleared from over here and send them back to the Bahamas.
Why they send them here?
And they search them out and know that they was over there 10, 15, 20 years. My brother, they send them back to the Bahamas, okay? So that's what our government needs to do and stop this foolishness what they doing to our Bahamian people. You understand me? It's just too much. We cannot afford it. Free education, free medical, and then they ain't paying no mortgage. Many of them don't pay no rent. You understand? They ain't paying no insurance or nothing. You know? I am just sick and tired of the foolishness. That's why we need a change in this country. We need a good change in this country and some serious laws for the foolishness like this. You can't go hide out in America. When you go hide out in America, you're going to get caught.
And if you get caught, you know they have a special place called detention center.
And then when your passport is deported, you can't enter back into America.
They keep coming back here.
How many times we have sent planes and planes over to Haiti, carrying these people back, and when you look,
They right back
again
in
after
it.
they accumulate money and
But
come back again.
wait, miss, who pays for that nice Bahamas Air flight? Did you pay for it? Is that where the VAT money going?
Oh, it's a bunch of foolishness. When you come in our country legal and you have children here, you and your children illegal, all of them. I can say like my grandma, them say all on them.
Ma'am, I share your passion. My name is Mr. Wells, and I'll give you an illustration. The other day, I had to go to immigration for 9 crew members on a vessel that I take care of, Americans that spend money in this country. And I was on official government business with a government envelope. And when I got up to immigration, a young man with a heavy American accent, he started out on me, he says, "Man, you got some slick talks, man, but we on a line, man." I said, "My boy, in the Bahamas we don't say man, we say my boy." I said, "And guess what? I ain't come here to you. I come here, see my identification? I got a voter's card. I ain't come here for no extension. I ain't come here for nothing that you think I come here for. I come here on official government business to take care of tourists who spending money in my country. Now you was deported from the United States with a Bahamian passport. I don't know what you is. You don't even know what yourself is. That's why you up here this morning." I said, "But guess what? My boy, I finished with you, okay? And guess what? Drop that man. Because we ain't man in America, man."
And not only that, the thing about it is, they have been purchasing Bahamian surnames to disguise themselves to make believe that they are Bahamian. And then what they're doing too is, when they have already got a Bahamian passport, and there is a Haitian woman who have a baby, they go to the passport with this Haitian woman to make believe like that baby is theirs, and then that baby becomes with a Bahamian passport too.
Miss, I've been to get my new NIB card.
So much slackness.
And thank
when
God.
it comes to and that's right. What you do, you give them Okay, work permit. Some of them, and not too many of them either. And then you turn around, give them residency, and those are the ones who are good citizens. Because you get the Jamaicans and the Haitians, they get so biggity. Some of them try to act like they're so humble, but they're not nice and they're not kind.
No.
And they try to take advantage of our kindness that we share and give to them.
I have no problem with Jamaicans.
Ma'am?
I had a Jamaican individual I met, and this lady told me, Jamaica have a nicer airport than you. Jamaica have a nicer university than you.
Well, that's good.
Jamaica have a nicer road than you. This is what the woman told me. So I listened. She said, Jamaica have a nicer country than you. I said, ma'am, please. Nobody know, why are you arguing with me? And you know what I asked her? It was only because God's wisdom hit me at that time. I was arguing with her and I calmed down. I said, ma'am, why are you here as a housekeeper if Jamaica have all them nicer things than me? But today, my $1 coffee and my $1 newspaper in Jamaica would be $260. Now I've gone and taken the liberty to move through the Tribune newspaper this morning, and there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 notices of name changes on the page, on page 12 of the business section, and I want you to see the name, Jermaine Lubin. Would like to change his name and become a Bahamian citizen. Miss Samia Augusti, Jean Berold Bixamar, Cataline Monisur. I can go on with the names.
They so funky you can't
There
even
is
pronounce
no,
them.
there is no
They
photo.
funky.
There is no photo.
There ain't nothing.
There is no DNA sample. There's nothing here. I've never seen this many names.
Does anybody...
Wait a minute, is an election coming up?
Yes. But,
Wait, all these people are looking for citizenship and elections here
Uh-huh.
around the corner.
um,
Why so many name change?
spoiler alert, remember the last election with the FNM, with Brent Simonet, when he fast-tracked the 6,000 aliens?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, I want to show you something.
Mhm.
They told him to vote FNM, but they didn't teach him how to vote.
You're alleging this.
No, this is why the FNM lost. I know. And you know why the PLP won the last election? Because I voted for him, but I ain't voting for him no more. Okay? But spoiler alert, this is how would screw the FNM up. They fast-tracked 6,000 last election, and they told him to vote FNM.
You're alleging that.
So when they went, man, I don't allege, I speak facts. Okay? When they went to the polls to vote, they seen FNM, so instead they mark next to it, they write beside it FNM. 6,000 spoiled. You see what I'm saying?
You saw these spoiled ballots? Someone told you about them?
Man, listen, Graham,
Wow.
listen. Divine intervention, darling. Guess what? You sound same age, said to me roughly. We've had 40 years of nothing but false promises. People throwing us over a net back and forth like a volleyball. Thank God today we have options. There's a party that's been around for 10 years, and guess what? They say a vote for them is a vote for the other party. Well, let's all vote for them and see who gets sworn in, okay?
But the papers say free electricity today, Miss.
Man, you went to these false promises. This is the point I'm trying to make to the lady. We
Free
not into these.
electricity is on the front cover. Don't cuss.
Take
It's on
this
the front
paper
cover of the
and
newspaper.
take this paper.
Don't cuss.
Take this paper. I'm not gonna curse.
Yes.
Take this paper so you don't have to pay VAT on toilet tissue
Ooh.
and wipe your behind.
Ooh, that's a good idea. All y'all out there? Ma'am, listen, free electricity is pledged by the
False
PLP,
promises,
right in
Graham.
the Tribune headline.
False promises. Don't read false promises. People don't want to hear them no more.
You know when you can tell me something when I begin to see the solar panels on homes all over the Bahamas. I
Ma'am,
know
you know where Christy lives? You know where Christy lives?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, drive down in the back of Ruby Avenue and look on Perry Christie's roof, okay, in the back of his house, and tell me how much solar panels you see there, okay?
You showing
I
us his
have
house?
seen it. He has it.
He has it, yes.
Okay.
Missy got no light bill while his people he representing got no light.
So this is what I'm saying, Graham. You have we had many years ago a very high percentage of middle class people.
We don't have it now. You're poor or rich.
Dwindle down now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
You
And
either
you
poor or
know-
We have a
rich.
handful rich people and the middle class is dwindled down so bad.
Yeah.
And then also you have so many people hurting and struggling in
Yep.
our country
Yep.
when our country was doing so well. Then they turn around, break the bank secrecy.
Mhm.
Nothing but 120 banks gone there. in the Cayman Islands
1992.
or wherever. And what
1992.
happened now? They are
92.
booming. Their
92.
country is booming. Their economy is booming.
Yep.
While the Bahamas is going through a suffering period.
Yep.
But you know something? There is a God above. And that is why I have to always daily put my trust in God.
Ma'am, you be encouraged, and don't forget what I just told you, okay? Encourage everything you could to try to do something different this election, yeah?
Yeah.
Something totally different.
Absolutely.
Totally different.
Foolishness.
No red and yellow. We're not a volleyball. We're not going to be tossed back and forth over the net no more. And if and when we get the other people in, trust me, I will spearhead it myself personally. And I will be on their door every day for them to live up to the demands they promise us, okay?
Yeah, man, because
This
change,
is-
good change has to come.
Change
from
is
our country.
healthy. When we
You know,
cannot get better at Princess
okay.
Margaret Hospital, we fly to the States. Change is healthy, but Bahamian people are scared of change.
You know the amount of Haitians would be voting in this election
It'll scare you.
It's scary. It's scary. It's scary.
when they are not Bahamian.
Yes, ma'am. I know. I live amongst them every day.
Then they get calling and say we will give you documents and so forth like that. And I talking facts of things I know because I know person who got themselves in problems, whereas they got passport and then they find where their passport was not correct. They had more pages in it than it should have been, and they got stuck and turned around where their money going down the drain, all because they got false documents. You know, to stay here to say that they are Bahamians. This foolishness has to stop.
Miss, I gotta let you go, but if you have any information to that effect, I would encourage you to go out to the Parliamentary Register office and take a gang of police with you. And no, go get Rodney Moncour, the people's...
Oh my God! Don't waste that woman's time, man.
Let's go to the next phone call.
Rodney Monk. Don't do them
Good morning.
type of things.
Good morning. How you doing?
Morning, sir. Me?
Ooh.
I'm going to tell you what I've contributed, sir. I've been in the taxi industry for 25 years, and I have people continuously coming to the Bahamas because I'm still here. I've actually had dead tourists sleeping on my couch. The boy who was murdered at the foot of the bridge in 2013 on Mother's Day, he was in this country for 3 weeks only, sir. I am an ambassador to the Bahamas. I have letters.
Well, it positively affects because what he's...
Tourism is our number one industry.
What
I could speak for myself.
what you did
I
to
could speak for
tourists
myself.
brings them back
I
to
could
spend
speak
money.
for myself.
Go ahead.
I could speak for myself.
I know you could. Do it.
Trust me. Sir, I carry guests to Cafe Matisse, and the maitre d' had the audacity to tell me, say, I bring him the same people every year. Repeat business is better than no business, don't you think?
It's the best business.
Huh? I get referrals too, sir. I haven't driven a taxi since May of last year. My daughter's still in SAC. I just showed Graham $500 in US, and I'm hacking because of the F&M and PLP.
You had the man pay for your bus.
I had the tourist
Tell him.
ask Graham. I showed Graham the checks. I had a tourist buy me a whole bus.
A whole brand new bus. A tourist bought him because of the great service
That I
on
provide.
behalf of the Bahamian people. You don't get no better than this man right here. He
Now
is-
you asked the question.
he is
I hope you like the answer.
He is the ambassador for the Bahamas. Better than them ministers of tourism. Believe me.
I personally believe I'm proud to.
Yes, sir.
Well, I could ask you a
Let us
question.
know,
No,
let
I
us
gotta
know.
ask a question. You're a proud Bahamian. Your parents are what? From Andros, Acklands, Andros, Eleuthera, what island?
My parents are
Okay, what settlement? Because my family from Eleuthera. You from Spanish Wells? Well, I should know you. Might be my family and all. Continue, sir. That's how I know a Bahamian.
right. Now, I'm 23. You say that you are an ambassador.
Yes, sir.
I can't seem to understand why it is.
Good morning. Talk.
Coming from this
Right down in.
I was regular student. you see one thing that you may suggest that it's still that you need someone else to come and clean up his mess. We always contribute. My question is this, what exactly have you contributed? I understand that
One quick question. One quick question. I can tell you how to clean up.
Let me ask you something. Okay, you from Spanish Wells, right?
What's your last
Hold
name?
on, hold on, hold on. You from Spanish Wells, right? There's a gentleman used to be in Spanish Wells. He passed away last year.
Yeah.
And he does the same type of work I do. Do you know his name? He's an ambassador like me. He takes care of tourists and everything. Do you know his name?
He was the mayor of Spanish
He was the
Wells.
mayor of Spanish Wells. Do you know him? Rudy Grant. You know what I'm talking about?
What is your last?
Tell him his name.
No, don't
Tell him
tell.
his
What is your
name.
last name? What is your last name, sir?
You're not from Spanish Wells,
you're
sir.
not, because that man's name was
Abner Pinder, and everybody know him. Everybody know him. So see, you come, you like Hubert Ingham. You come over
Now,
on the
you can't-
Wolf and Sheep
and
Clothing.
don't hang up,
No,
because
no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no.
ask you a
Because see,
question.
I see
If you
he.
come on the radio and you lie about what settlement you're from and what island,
I'm not even listening to this caller no more.
it's
Bye
not a
bye.
Bahamian. That's not a
He's not a Bahamian. He's not.
No, you're 23. You lie about
You
that.
lie about
You
that. You
sound
lie
about
from
23.
Spanish Wells, sir.
What island
I was a
and
ninth
settlement are you
generation
from?
Bahamian, and I can tell you who's who and what's
See, I
what
can
in
tell
the
you about me.
Bahamas.
I can tell you about me. My family goes back 283 years to Marsh Harbor and Man of War.
My grandfather
on my
was born
dad's side,
1872.
on my grandmother's side, it goes back 400 years to Preacher's Cave. Now let's start this over again. Let's forget you lied. Tell me where you from. Where are you from?
I was 4 years old, the house burned down, and Spanish Wells, and I've been looking at it.
What street did it burn down on? What street? See, Spanish Wells has street. See, you could. I'm gonna let you run on.
What my parents taught me is
You still didn't tell me. Your parents are still alive, so what street were you born on? Do you know the name of the street? Then you see, I find it very hard. I find it very hard to believe. What's your name? See, you won't even tell me the street. Let me help you understand. Spanish Wells doesn't have street name. They have number name. Street number 1, street number 18. Now you come and see me because I want to see if he was a real Bahamian or not. But I can tell you, that's how you know a Bahamian. You can catch them. Hubert Alexander Minnis is from Calabash Bay Andress. You come and see me. We'll be right back.
Mr. Grant, you ever heard such things in all your life? Jesus
Now
Christ, they think they're talking to
listen now, if that don't take the cake, He might be from Spanish Wells, Russell Island, and his house might have burned down. But I wonder. I gotta see him. Caller, good morning. Good morning, caller. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning to you guys also.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you doing?
You know,
Glad you're hanging in
I've
there.
been working in the wilderness for a long time. I don't know if the Indians ready for this change.
Alright.
Change is what they don't.
Well, the change is coming. The change will either be good or it'll be horrible with more VAT increases and more taxes and fees, or somebody that can come and tell you how to pay off the debt.
Exactly.
You ever been to the rally, the yellow and red rally, and hear anyone talking about how to pay off debt?
Never.
Well, if they don't pay off the debt, the VAT has to go up.
Exactly. So I just hope that the Indians can look at the issues, weigh them out seriously. They definitely need to pray to God. Don't pray to the other fellow today. You gotta pray to God, but you gotta come back to him. No. That's
Well,
the way that's go.
Which
That's
God?
the way that's go.
You got voodoo, Pocamia.
Voodoo, but why is somebody said something around saying some spirits coming from India? I don't know how true it is. Anoint yourself for the week before you go vote. I don't know how true it is.
You got voodoo, you got Pocamia, you got Maoism, Taoism, Chaoism, you got Obir. You got so much different spirits attacking the Bahamas right now.
Truly,
I don't know
truly.
what you're gonna do.
And you know, like I said, you keep speaking on it. You're bringing light, speaking truth to the message, and this is what people need to hear.
What do you think?
They make decisions. They got this sense to make the decision on their own.
Yeah.
You are informed up, and I must give you a kudos for that. And I respect you highly for that. So continue to do it.
Well, I appreciate, before you go, I appreciate that. I've taken some licks, and it's fine. I mean, it's not about me, you know. It's about the Bahamians benefiting. I'm not trying to get in that house. I could have wiggled my way into the house through many different parties, but I chose not to. I let younger people than I go, Andre Rollins, Wells, and all the young people, and, you know, some got treated well, some got beat up and bruised up because they tried to speak out. But I gotta ask you, what do you think about this free electricity thing, what the, this administration said they can give you now, just in time for voting?
Well, I mean, you think it's going to happen?
It was supposed to happen in 2010, people. In 2010, 7 years ago, I did it. And you know what? My meter's spinning backwards today. The power company, the American Managed Power Company in our country, I suspect owes me about $200 this month because I wasn't home. I was in Luther campaigning with my wife, and my solar was making my meter go backwards, which Mr. Christie fought, and we got achieved. It happened. Mr. Ingram said no, the FNM. The Yellow Party said yes. And we got this for 5 kW, and I put 3,800 watts, 3.8 kW, so I'm well within the law of the 2015 House of Assembly law that we passed. And the power company owes me $200 this month. I want my check in the mail, but if you don't, yes. Now, what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to give me some money this month, or are they going to try and lock me up right after election for making electricity? After we fought 10 years to get it legal. Huh?
But we need just have a special, whether it's a special department or just special person, the speed, accountability, transparency. I mean, we need a guy. I definitely vote for you. You one of them.
I just need free light. Boss, if I had free electricity, if light was on top of the gas station, solar panels, and free electricity in the gas station, the gas would be cheaper. If solar was on top of the food store, and they had free electricity, the food would be cheaper. You see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
If it was on top of my house, can you imagine everyone in the Bahamas getting a little $100 or $200 from the power company this month? Mado.
One thing before I put for people less than 500,000 and be so wealthy, how you've been exploiting it over the time, billions and billions of dollars. I mean, we cannot affect the lives of average Bahamian people. I just don't, it baffles me.
Of course we could. Of course we could. You know, I got all my papers are signed up. If I choose so, I want to thank Fernley Palmer, the Justice of the Peace on this Linden Finling on East Street. Fernley, good morning. For signing and sealing my papers to run in Centerville. Independent. Now, my wife has chosen to run with the DNA,
Good morning.
and I understood that the independent candidate, while being the fix in our country, we're not at that position yet. We still like party. And so the best thing to ever happen in this country is the DNA gets some seats, the yellow gets some seats, and the green gets some seats. And the red, sorry. I don't care which one you're going to win. I want the other two to be a tough opposition and hold your feet to the fire. See, when there's only two people in there, They just abuse us. Put the third one in the mix. You ever see a tennis game and two players are knocking the ball across the net? Let someone else jump in the middle of that somewhere. We don't care where they jump and start banging that ball a third direction. That'll put something in there.
That's right.
And that's what you need.
Agreed, Graham.
So I'll let you go with this one. Free electricity could have been on every home if we started in 2009 when I started. Because I've not only talked about it, I've done it at my business and my home. And I want you, I'll cover the full story for you on how I started it, fought for it, when Benton Nemore said, be careful of your interpretation of the law because you could go to jail for putting solar on your house. So I put in a system. And then it moved forward to the F&M party. Then it moved forward to Mr. Christie, who said, I'm going to have an oil referendum and I'm going to put solar on these homes. We did not get the oil referendum. We got numbers and women's equality, which are important, I guess. But the oil would have given every Bahamian a check at the end of the year. Wouldn't it be nice if you got a little $5,000 or $10,000 or $25,000 check at the end of the year from your oil and your sand? Never gonna happen. You know where the money? Man, I told you I was on my way to Eleuthera and I saw a big boat getting full up with sand last week. Again, it's every day. It's still happening. How you think that $7 billion? How you think that $7 billion got in Hong Kong, Shanghai Bank, and Switzerland? $7 billion. Your debt is $7 billion in one day. Anyone speak about that $7 billion in the Tribune or the F&M? It came up one day in the Tribune, and I snagged a copy for you. But I'm going to wait till election week. I've given it to many Facebook people, and they're going to put it out there for you on election week. Should something happen to me, God forbid, you'll still get to see it. But what I'm saying is every Bahamian is extremely wealthy. I've not heard that from the yellow or the red party. Now, I did go to a meeting the Green Party had the other night, and they said they were going to get the natural resource money in the hands of the people. Wow.
That's what I'm talking about, Graham.
So I'm for any party that's going to get the natural resources, and solar is a natural resource, so is sand, aragonite, salt. You know how much money we get for a boat half as big as a cruise ship full of salt? How much money do we get for that salt?
My God.
Not 1 cent. Not 1 cent. Yeah, you take that $200 job shoveling the salt in the boat.
You know, these guys don't need to be fired. They always need to be in a squad.
Firing squad, you mean?
That's what I mean. Firing squad.
Because there's no way that you could have oppressed 100,000 people, right? What formula did you use to swing 100,000 Bahamians from the time of independence to now 300,000, but it's really only 200,000 because 100,000 are of other descents?
Right.
What formula was used to swing Bahamians for over 40 years while partnering with foreigners in the sale of our natural resources? You know what the formula was? Give them two colors to fight over.
That's simple.
Isn't that so sweet?
Yeah. That's
And so fool, we still go to the yellow and red rally, jumping up with pom-pom while they talk bad about each other
it.
and not on the issue of how to pay off my debt and get me this money from the oil and the aragonite and the salt and the calcium carbonate and the Bahama rock and countless other.
That's what my ears is like, I want to hear it so bad, but like you said, besides the rest of the body, only the dream is talking about it.
You know, well, you gotta listen to the issue and who's really talking about what needs to be said. You know all those lovely canals in Freeport? They have miles and miles of canal. You know that big port they dug out?
Right.
Bigger than our harbor? Where did all the rock go? Shouldn't we have a mountain of rock? It's been sold. And do you know what they do with that rock? They put it in a special pressure washer that cleans the chimneys of all the smokestacks of all the generating plants that burn coal in the United States of America. They've been doing it from 1954. Trillions of dollars. Do you know that we have 1.7 to 2.4 billion barrels of oil in this country at $100 a barrel, which it will go back to? That's as much as $2.4 trillion.
Unbelievable.
Unthinkable, because your debt's only $7 billion.
That would be a joke for that.
Do you know how rich every Bahamian is?
And like you keep saying, Graham, give every Bahamian $1 million.
And if you did that, you robbed them.
You still rob them. That's what I mean. At $1 million, that would make each Bahamian a millionaire.
So they're going to say that it's all fairy tales. Let's talk about something really quick before you go that's not a fairy tale. There are 3 million acres of crown land. That cannot be disputed. I hate that it's called crown land because that alludes to the queen and her crown. I thought it would be Bahamian land if we were independent. And she's put one man to guard it, the Prime Minister. Every Prime Minister. Sir Roland Simonet, Ingram, Christie, Finland, and we've always had to beg for the Queen's land. With 3 million acres of crown land, if you gave 1 acre to every Bahamian, all 200,000 of us, because I don't think someone who comes here illegally should be entitled to get our land.
No, you have to be legitimate.
And what are you left with? 2.8 million acres would still be left for future children. So if everybody got an acre of land and they built a triplex on this acre of land from the island of their origin, unlike the last caller, because I know he's not Sigillian, what I have to tell you is this. Your triplex, because you own the land, like Sarkis's Merlion, who owned the land at Cable Beach because we gave it to him, 1.3 billion in land. He went to the bank and said, I want a loan at 2%. We can never get that. We have to pay 7%. You would be living in Andros or Eleuthera or Long Island, and you would have your triplex on land with a 2% loan, and you would be living in one of the triplexes. The other two you would rent for $400 a week. You cannot get a room for $400 a week anywhere that I know of that's nice as your triplex will be. That's $800. You're getting 2 units rented at $800 a week. And you're living in yours for almost free because it's being paid for by the other two, right? This is what you call owning the tourism industry. That's $3,200 a month, but I like to break things down to weeks. Is it possible for you to make $800 a week and live almost free in a unit that you own? That's what you call owning the tourism industry and not making the bed in it. Here's the better part. Have you heard any political party say they're going to allow you to have a US dollar bank account?
Never.
Wait a minute. The guy who was just here, John had to leave, gets $100 US today for driving a taxi. He puts it in the bank, and he gets that blue Marlin, right?
Hello.
Then he wants to go to Miami, and he wants to buy that US back, right? The Canadian bank tells him, sir, you need to bring exchange control. You have to pay more than $100.
I don't put in the account with that thing.
Does that seem fair to you?
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to hear the party that says they're going to allow me to have a US dollar bank account. And guess who just said that the other night, 2 nights ago? One of the political parties. And it wasn't yellow and red. So if you're going to allow me to have a US dollar bank account, if you're going to allow me to have an acre of crown land where I can actually own the tourism industry instead of making the bed. Now, everything I just discussed with you is very real. The land is real, right?
I know it's real.
A 2% interest loan is very real because the man at Cable Beach got a 2% interest loan once he had the land that we gave him. Our land, you know. So he came at a dream. We gave him the land. He got a 2% loan, and he now owns the tourism industry.
I know.
Why wouldn't we do it for you?
I don't understand. Why not?
So these are real, simple solutions.
Yeah.
And they will not discuss these. They will deny that they just don't even reply when I say how much do we get for a cruise ship sized boat full of salt leaving Anagua.
They don't, right?
You know why they don't reply? They don't want to be caught in a lie.
That's correct.
They don't reply when we say, what about the calcium carbonate that's leaving this country? Most people don't even know what that is. Google it. Bahama Rock. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about that boat that I saw off of Spanish Wells, off of Current Island, Eleuthera, Spanish Wells, last Wednesday, with a big sand barge on the side of it. And it wasn't bringing, no one brings sand to the Bahamas. So was it taking sand? So why have we not received a call? You still got enough time, Mr. Producer. If you hear, if Mr. Gray calls, put him straight through, because I need to know what that sand barge was doing on the side of that big boat, half as big as a cruise ship. What is going on in the country? While the people can't eat, you're taxing the Bahamians, but anyone can come. You know, Bahamians aren't xenophobic, but you're making us xenophobic because we are not getting any of the headway that foreigners get. Whether they come here broke and busted from the Caribbean, or whether they come here dead rich from Russia or the US or Canada, they are getting things, preferential treatment that Bahamians cannot get.
They bring on Bahamian first, but nobody can actually see that it's
Wait.
that's the very deal.
Trust, believe, putting Bahamians first, a square deal. And now it's the people's time. Well, listen, if it's the people's time now, right? Whose time has it been for the last 43 years when you were in 15 years?
Exactly.
It wasn't the people's time back in 92?
That's right.
It wasn't the people's time, that was 10 years. It wasn't the people's time back in 07? And that's for the Red Party. And it wasn't the people's time when Finland was in? Or Mr. Christie during his first term and now this term? Is just now going to be the people's time? Well, if you, but, if, I'll,
You're not being truthful and clear and transparent about all of the natural resources and how
Yes.
you break this money tree down. Because I could hear Graham Weatherford talking radio how he's going to break this natural resources down, these money to a family tree, and it's so simple how Graham break it down.
well, the land is a natural resource, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, when no one saw that sand barge I saw, no one sees certain things, but we see the land.
Right.
So give us the land, please.
Definitely.
We don't want to apply for it. We want to hear that on election night, every Bahamian will get 1 acre of crown land.
Well, I heard Keith Bell the other day say something about this act that the government will pass for the Crown land. I think Leslie Miller was on. He was talking about the energy plan that he proposed to do that. Shut it down.
Yeah. Leslie was very accurate with that AES. That's the only thing that made sense. Everything else I've heard has been a joke. Did you hear what I said? On day one, on the night I am sworn in as Prime Minister, I'm taking the pen and I'm giving 1 acre of crown land to every Bahamian. And I'm reinstating the Immovable Property Act. Write that down. And what that means is, I'm then going to tell Bahamar, I don't care if you ever open, but it's $100 million a year property tax. And if you don't pay it, when you rack up enough bill to 1.3 billion, I take the property.
Yeah.
I challenge any realtor to call me in on that. But I gotta let you go. Have a good one. Yep. Mr. Producer? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, caller. Good afternoon, caller. Good afternoon. You're not there. Good afternoon. Hey, you know what? We almost got out of time, Mr. Producer. So I want to thank BTC. Our phone calls, including that last one, was from BTC. You know, it's very sad that for 10 years, it's a decade now, it's almost a decade, I've been fighting to get certain things to happen in the country. I want you to think about this. And I opened with it. Food, medicine, school supplies, school uniform, health insurance, diapers, women's feminine supplies. Everything I just listed is an essential. And before independence, we've had tax and duty on those essentials. It is sickening. A car is a luxury. But those items, food, are you serious? We have to pay tax on food. So obviously, you hate us. All of you. Mr. Producer, I've not heard one of them that has said they would remove the tax off food. And I could sit here and I can give you a million solutions on how to pay off this national debt. Maybe I'll do a show with someone one day. You can pay off our debt within 3 months easily. I want to hear you're going to pay off the debt, balance the budget, have no tax for Bahamians, and full employment, all within 3 months. And if you can't do that, don't give me a pom-pom. I ain't coming to your rally. And I would tell any new political party, don't have a rally. Have the rally in the boot, and you vote them out. But today's show is brought to you by Superwash, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Burger King, the Air Conditioned Depot, BTC, Stay With the Company, connects every Rock Island, Enki in the Bahamas, National Workers Cooperative Credit Union, Virgo Car Rental, Water and Sewage Corporation, Storm Frame Window, the Hayman Brewery Company Limited. Remind you to drink in moderation. Wendy's, Marco's, Popeyes, the Trio, and Paisley Cosmetics. Experience the Paisley difference. I'm Graham Weatherford, filling in for Professor Pinga. I would encourage you that when you vote, think about how you have been treated by both parties. Take a drive through the inner city today of Centerville, Bain and Grantstown, and realize that we've had only two parties that have been in power for 43 years, and we have a Bain and Grantstown still. And then you decide what you want to do. I hope you make the right choice, because there's a lot at risk, like higher taxes and VAT and fees, and possibly a devaluation as we're at junk bond status. Next time I come back, we're going to explain how to fix the Bahamas, and quick. We need someone to save this place real quick. And it's not the people's time. It's never been the people's time. No more lies, no more believe and trust. Have a good day.
The previous program was a production of the More FM radio network. All rights reserved.
Well, you hell bent on selling
Are
your
those of the